Hello and welcome to Tonalist Paintings by M. Francis McCarthy. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy. And the painting we are doing today is called Dappled Glade, and it is the 8 by 10 version of this motif. We did last week the 5 by 7 study, and so this would be the larger iteration as per the way we usually try and work. Sorry for the delay, I guess. This weekend just wasn't really happening. So, last weekend, not this weekend. This weekend, hopefully, it'll be happening. I know that people are paying attention to this blog and following it, and I do appreciate that, and as well as the videos on YouTube. So I try and do my part to keep the paintings coming so that those of you that are interested can, listen and learn and enjoy and, basically groove on tonalism. This painting, just for anybody who's interested, has been sped up by about 8 or 9 times faster than I painted it. And it, I could say it probably didn't take a super long time to paint this, since I'm noticing that the simpler motifs, like this, is basically just a painting of some light coming through the trees. That is the subject matter, and that sort of subject matter really interests me, and I've been probably incorporating a painting like this in every batch of paintings I've been doing, which as I've stated before, is now pretty much 10 motifs at a time instead of 18, which I'd worked up to. And that's been working pretty well. I have also been industriously working on some more tonalist studies after the masters, and I'm not sure when those will be hitting the blog. I'm playing with it. My nature is to go through and do the first color of each one prior to going in and finishing them with a second color pass. But you never know, I can make an exception of that if I feel like it. I can pretty much do whatever I want because I'm my own boss, so I'm a lucky guy. So you're wondering what's been going on in the studio. Well, I have been working on my latest pass of 10 paintings, and I'm probably about 7 in as far as first color. Just got out of the studio a little bit early this afternoon after finishing one. Well, not finishing, but finishing that color pass. Now, that first color pass is the painting as far as I'm concerned, because if things aren't happening there, it's pretty much not going any further. The second and third color passes, if I do a third color pass, is really just about doing techniques that are best done with a dry brush, and that's the main reason I do those passes. And some correcting and things and enhancing, but I'm really about trying not to repaint the painting over and over and over again. In fact, by the time I get to my second color pass on a large painting, I've painted that image at least 4 times, and probably a bit more if you take into account that I will often do 2 color passes on 5x7s these days. So there's a drawing pass for each, the 5x7 and the larger painting. Then there's a first color pass for both of those, and then a second color pass on the 5x7 generally. So that's I don't mind that, to tell you the truth. If you watch how I do these, you'll see even in the drawing stage, I'm probably redrawing that image several times over, starting with a very light medium tinted with some paint, and then pushing it up. And that's just my way of getting it across, I guess. You've got to there's a lot to be said for maybe just jumping in and doing the painting fresh with one color pass, no studies, no drawings, no nothing. And I've done that, actually. I have done that, and I've done it as recently as last month. My tend to do that really if I'm painting on top of a board that has a painting on it that I don't like, since I can't really, do a drawing. I can't really work with the burnt sienna thing too much, and it's okay. It's fine. I don't mind it. I guess the reason I do this over and over thing is just to basically support myself as an artist and support myself while I'm doing the painting. The reason why I like to have a drawing stage or an underpainting stage is that helps support me when I'm concentrating on colors. So most of my compositional issues have been solved in that drawing stage, so I can concentrate on color and value in the first color pass, which, as I just stated, a minute or two ago, that really is the painting to me. When I put a date on my painting, that is the date that I put on. That is the date of the first color pass, and that is the huge bulk of the work that goes into the painting. That said, you could see, just watching some of these videos I put up, that there are times that dry brushing stage could take nearly as long. The dry brushing and glazing and adjusting stages of the color passes can take just as long or longer than that first color pass, but that doesn't mean that the color pass isn't really the most critical stage. Talking about this painting, I've had this in my studio right now at the Quarry Art Center, and gotten a lot of nice comments on it. And as I stated, I think maybe in either the last video or in the blog post, it's an uninspiring photograph. This is basically just a bit of light in the middle of a otherwise very bland photograph, but it's caught my eye for a while. I probably took the photo reference about 3 or 4 years ago, and it's just now I'm getting around to seeing the painting in that reference, and that's really something that's always changing and modifying, and one of the reasons why I will go back into my archives of photos I've taken of the local scenery and pull things out that are sometimes quite old, that at the time I may have done some paintings from the reference I did. There's always going to be one or two things that even while I'm photographing it, I know it's going to make an interesting painting, and I'm excited, and I'll try and work it into my workflow as soon as I can. But this isn't one of those cases. This is one that just kind of sat around a bit. I think maybe today on the blog post I might just talk about ways you can support yourself as an artist. It's not, or as a painter more accurately, as a landscape painter extremely specifically. This is not something I've heard a lot of other artists talk about, and I think it's a good thing to maybe address, and we'll see if I can get the ideas across in a blog post. So if you don't follow my blog, it's you can find it through my website, which is landscapepainter.co.nz, and you can get to my blog through there always. And if you're just following the videos on YouTube, you owe it to yourself to go to the blog, because there's a lot more information that's in a written form than you get it with the videos. They're meant to work with each other and play off each other. And hopefully those of you that are just watching the videos on YouTube are checking out the blog, and those of you that are on the blog are checking out the videos. So, and if you're not, hey, that's fine too. Whatever floats your boat. Anyway, thanks for joining me today, this lovely Tuesday. Tuesday, the 16th of February, and we will see you next week.